Newark Air Museum, established now for well over 40 years, on the site of what once was the Royal Air Force Base at RAF Winthorpe, just to the north and east of Newark. The museum attracts many thousands of visitors a year, not only for the special events, but for the large collection of over 70 different aircraft. The core of the collection centres on training aircraft, many fine examples of which can be found around the site, such as fighter aircraft, basic training aircraft, and aircraft to train aspects of aircrew such as pilots, navigators, radio and radar operators. We start our little wander around Newark Air Museum under the mighty Vulcan XM594, flown here in 1982. And if you happen to visit on a weekend when volunteers are available, the Vulcan may be open for a small extra charge. We carry on into the engine hall, which is next to the Vulcan, with a massive array of all types of aero engine set out in what appears to be an old Nissan hut. Engines from inline piston engines, massive radial engines, this one a Bristol Centaurus from Handley Page Hastings, from early jet engines to much later jet engines, such as this Rolls-Royce Olympus 593, used to power the supersonic Concorde, a derivative of the engine used in the Vulcan. Leaving the engine display hall and moving up the site, past the Raleigh and the Cessna, we come to a specialised Canberra WH904, Canberra T1119, training radar operators. And the first of the museum's nautical aircraft, the carrier-borne Blackburn Buccaneer. And behind the Buccaneer is none other than Maritime Patrol Aircraft WR977, the museum's Shackleton Mark III, usually open to the public. However, at the moment we've got chick workmen in, and the Shackleton is currently undergoing restoration and therefore, unfortunately, close to visitors. However, one of the aircraft that is open to visitors is the Shackleton's neighbour, the Hastings, and as long as volunteers are available, she's usually open at weekends for public viewing. Opposite the Hastings, the Mistair and the Super Sabre, a couple of aircraft from overseas. And now into the first aircraft hall that was opened in 1990. The first aircraft displayed in the display hall is the Skylouse or Flying Flea, designed by Henry Mignay. Opposite the Flying Flea is the Lee Woods Annular biplane, a replica that was used in the film Those Magnificent Men in Their Flying Machines and ended up landing in the sewage farm. There are some interesting types at Newark, and this aircraft, the GAL ST-12 Monospar, is no exception, a very advanced design for its time. G Maisie, the Tiger Moth, again another training aircraft, built by de Havilland. Also a large proportion of the museum's helicopters are also in this display hall, along with the Saab Draken, and from here a much better view. The museum's helicopter collection with Sycamore, Zurowski ZP-1, Sioux and Skeeter. Further round, the Venom NF-3, and also the aircraft the Venom was descended from, the de Havilland Vampire. Moving on, and we come to the second of the Swedish aircraft, the Saab Sofia. More nautical aircraft in the form of de Havilland Sea Venom and Hawker Seahawk. Further round, the Percival Prentice, an interesting little training aircraft, and Lancaster Corner, complete with model Halifax, and turrets from various bombers, and even a section of Lancaster bomber. Moving through the hall and heading for the exit past the Avro Anson. We leave the exhibition hall, and outside is this wonderful exhibit. It's not an aircraft, but an Anderson shelter. The attention to detail of this exhibit is exquisite, and it changes throughout the year as it's planted with vegetables and maintained as somebody's garden would have been during the Second World War. Well worth seeking out every time you visit to see just how much it's changed. Moving on with the aircraft exhibits, and opposite the Anderson shelter, a small airliner, the de Havilland Heron. Other aircraft outside include the Night Fighter Meteor, a personal favourite, the English Electric Lightning T5, the T-33 by Lockheed, the Jaguar, an aircraft awaiting restoration, and Nautical 2, the Sea Vixen, and of course the carrier-borne Fairy Gannet. And before we enter the next aircraft hall, a right pair of MiGs. And so on to the second aircraft hall. Opened in 2004, this entrance hall is lined with these amazing bricks, each one bought as a donation towards the building of the aircraft hall itself. The first aircraft to strike the eye as you come through the door of this hall is the Harrier, Sea Harrier, yet another nautical aircraft. Sadly, none left in service. And the Gloucester Javelin, one of Newark's programme of bringing aircraft in from the cold. Even the Varsity was brought in from the cold. And the third, Saab aircraft, the Viggen, a double delta, works wonders. The Supermarine Swift, also at one time displayed outside, and now it can be kept in the relative warmth and dryness of the aircraft hall. Another aircraft that came to the museum in the early 90s, the Hawker Hunter. And let's have a look at that Vickers Varsity again, WF369 or Freddy Foxtrot, a bomb aimer trainer, and of course a radio operator trainer. More training aircraft with the old jet provost cockpit and full aircraft. One time the mainstay of the Royal Air Force early jet training. WV787, the Black Canberra, another aircraft that may be open to the public on your visit. This aircraft was once with the ANAE, making false clouds for water icing trials. Under the Canberra, a little Scottish Aviation Bulldog. And two of the other large aircraft in the hall, the Jetstream for pilot multi-engine training, and the Domini. And aside the Domini, a once mainstay training aircraft, the Fallen Gnat, also used in the early years of the Red Arrows display team. Final aircraft in the display hall that we're looking at is the Westland Wessex, another aircraft that may be open to the public on your visit. It's down to the hard work of the volunteers at the museum to keep these exhibits either open for public viewing or to help to restore them. We've had a look around the main aircraft exhibits today, and we have missed one or two, and I'm sorry for any we've omitted. But there's plenty more to see at Newark Air Museum, and plenty more to do. And plenty of displays to find and see, such as these, which we can't do every display justice because there's just so many things to see in them. And they've all taken so much time to lay out, we've got to put at least a few in. We hope you've enjoyed this video, and let's hope that one day you get to visit Newark Air Museum yourselves. So until the next time, we'll see you then.